conversation at the
Let's
national
go back.
level,
Another premier up the mic.
how we continue to make sure and to do that. It was encouraging to the Prime Minister appoint Minister LeBlanc to ensure that we continue to allow the movement of goods and services across our country. And the conversation continued from there into how do we maximize the value of energy and move energy across the country. It was encouraging when we get talking about an energy corridor. The province of Quebec really wanted to push hydroelectricity, which would move across our country, and as well as the stranded oil that we have now in Alberta. And I was pleased for all First Ministers to recognize this is not just an Alberta issue. This is a Canadian economy issue that we need to find solutions. There were short-term options as well as medium-term and then long-term. And I believe one of those is a pipeline from coast to coast. And I look forward to continuing having that debate as we go forward and meeting the climate challenges that not only we face, but globally. So
there seems to be some debate about what went on around carbon emissions, the reduction plan. Premier Doug Ford came out and said that the Prime Minister had moved the goalposts. Is that your interpretation of what happened in there?
It's not my interpretation. The Prime Minister has been clear from the very beginning that there would be a price on carbon, either a carbon tax or a cap and trade system, which it varies across the country. We have an internal cap and trade system. The Prime Minister did say that others will end up doing more. Simply based on what's happening in the jurisdictions. For example, in our province, we've already met the 30% target of being below 2005. By the 2030 target, we'll probably be about 50% below where we were. That's what the Prime Minister, I believe, meant, that some provinces are going to actually achieve more than others. But he's been very clear from the very beginning that there would be a price on carbon, and that could come in two forms, either a carbon tax or a cap and trade system.
So, but Premier Ford was saying that he thinks because the Prime Minister is saying that some provinces will do more, that it means some provinces are required to do more. Did the Prime Minister say that provinces will have new targets?
Not at all. The Prime Minister was very clear. This is about that some will more than go beyond that 30%. But what he has said from the very beginning, that there would be a price on carbon. How you do that is either cap and trade system or a carbon tax, but that other provinces will achieve greater. Quite frankly, in the province of Nova Scotia, through successive governments of all political stripes, we've continued to reduce coal in Nova Scotia. It's why energy prices are high. It's why we're achieving the target of being 30% below 2005, and we will continue down that road. I think everyone was committed to the fact that in Canada, we have a responsibility to continue to reduce our greenhouse gas production, and we will all do that. But there is that 30% target that by 2030, all will have to achieve. What the Prime Minister was saying, though, some of us will go beyond that. Hi, how are you?
I'm okay.
Nice to see you.
The Prime Minister says which provinces have to do more?
He didn't say they had to do more. What he said was some will exceed more. So, for example, in Nova Scotia, we will. We're beyond that 30% target now, and we'll be close to 50. There are other provinces that are doing that. What the Prime Minister has been clear about from the very beginning, that there would be a price on carbon. There are two forms of that price, and he continued to reiterate that today.
Okay, and on interprovincial trade, you've been talking about this for a long time. What's it going to take to actually get some real meaningful movements that we're not talking about this every single time?
Well, we had positive change today. For example, occupational health and safety will be uniformed across the country. Every province will do that. We've seen 7 provinces have joined Alberta, Manitoba when it comes to having no restrictions on personal use of alcohol transferring between provinces. We'll continue down that road to grow that one. We have seen every Canadian province by the end of 2019 will allow double-wide tires on our highways. That's a positive move. We continue to deal with some of the impediments in the trucking industry that are caused by at borders. And what was really encouraging for me today was the fact that the federal government came to the table with ideas of how they can help at the national level, and recognizing that they have a role to play in ensuring that we can have a freer movement of goods and services inside of Canada.
Sorry,
Thank you.
Which provinces do not agree to the personal use?
It varies differently, and it's only because in some places we have dry communities, northern Canada, the restrictions. So it's, but everyone will do a different model, and they'll continue down that road. But we respected the fact that each individual province is different and how we would do that. So we have continued to, as in Nova Scotia, continue to try to eliminate those regulations. And I believe for us, it's the right thing to join in with our sister provinces.
Is there a province, though, that is not agreeing with this?
There are some who need, they've increased their personal limits, but they haven't gone as far as reducing all the barriers, and they'll continue down that road, and they'll be able to communicate that to their citizens when they get home. But we've continued down. And same with Business Registry. We as a province have said that if you're registered in the Canadian province, we will not charge you to register in Nova Scotia. You can come and go to work and start working in our province.
Was there any discussion of having an online direct-to-consumer sales of alcohol?
There was, yeah. There was direct conversation. The federal government has raised that. In Nova Scotia, you can do that now. Nova Scotians can order from a winery in British Columbia or Ontario and have that shipped directly to them outside of our liquor corp.